Joining us now is criminal defense attorney and MSNBC legal analyst Danny Cevallos and criminal defense attorney and former senior staff at the Manhattan DA's office, Duncan Levin. Guys, we're hearing that the jury right now is actually seeing a check stub, and a check is being shown to them. The first time that they've seen these checks that were the reimbursements to Michael Cohen, they saw a check for $70,000. That was to pay him back for the months of January and February, those first installments of the reimbursement, so to speak. I'm curious as to, first, I'll start with you, Duncan, how you see this latest witness and how she fits into the big puzzle.
Well, you know, we've spent the first half of this trial really focused on this conspiracy to violate the federal election laws. That's what the first part of the trial was about. But now we're moving into falsification of business records. You would expect it to be sort of the more boring phase, even though that's really what the charges are about. And it hasn't been. It's been anything but, because we're hearing testimony about checks that are being sent to the White House and him signing these things in the Oval Office. And so while it's a little dry, the math here is really what's important. This document, these witnesses are actually more important for the document that just got in this morning than what they're saying about the flow of funds. The math here is really important. It was a $130,000 payment to Stormy Daniels. There was another $50,000 to a firm called Red Finch, which is really it's a company that the Trump campaign hired to rig the online votes, the polls, before he was elected and ran for president. So that's $180,000. And there's handwriting. This document that was introduced today through the corporate controller has Alan Weisselberg's handwriting all over it. He's the former CFO of the Trump organization. And he writes in it that it was grossed up for taxes, which means that they doubled it. And that's so damning for Donald Trump right now, because what it shows is that these were false. This was absolutely not a reimbursement for legal expenses. You would never gross up a reimbursement because it was coming as income, and so Michael Cohen presumably would have to pay income taxes on it. So they doubled it because he lives in New York City. They said, well, presumably you're going to have to double it for taxes. When you pay taxes, you're left with the money, the $180,000. They threw in another $60,000 bonus for him, and that's how you're getting to this $420,000 number. Divide it by 12 months, and you're at $35,000 a month. The falsification of the business records is apparent from the math here, and that is what the DA's office is going to argue.